One way that you will continue to be productive is to make good decisions. And that's probably fairly obvious to you. But now, how do you do, or how do you know you're making a good decision ahead of time? And how do you know that you're making a decision that will keep you moving forward toward what it is that you're working on? Now, you wanna have a definition of what a good or right decision is, but now you want to have it so that you don't look at that decision in hindsight. It's very easy to look back in hindsight and say that was a great decision that was made, or that wasn't such a good decision. But how do you do that beforehand? Well, we want to use a system that you can use in order to know whether or not the decision you're making right now is going to be a good decision and will keep you productive toward your goal. Have you done the proper amount of research? Have you looked at all the angles? Do you know whether or not this is something that is right for your business or your vocation? Have you done research? And that's a very important point, and it's probably the most important part of doing or knowing your decision is going to be right ahead of time. You don't want to be in a position where you've got to make a decision with no information and no research if possible. That's not always going to be possible, but when possible, you want to make your decisions based on solid research. Investment. How much of your resources is this decision going to require? Guidance. Have you looked to others who have experience or who have expertise and who understand the path that you're going down? Have you looked to attain guidance in what it is that you're doing? Once again, this is not always going to be possible, but when possible, even if you have to consult a book or an information product or even research on the internet, you will want to gain guidance before you make a decision. Hindsight. Looking back to determine how you have done on past decisions. What have your decisions led to? What were the circumstances? You want to be able to determine how you make decisions, and you want to be able to see those decisions that turned out well and how you went about that decision making process. You might want to start looking at applying that to other successful decisions. And then thought. You've gathered all the evidence and you've considered what you're going to have to invest in terms of your resources, and you've considered the guidance, looked at your past decisions. You're going to have to think about it. Once again, we're looking at the 80-20 rule. Is your decision going to really lead to maximum impact in your life and in your business? If it is, then you want to consider it carefully. So in conclusion, the right decision is really one where you go through a process. And it's one that you go through the process ahead of time so that your decisions you're not making decisions with a based on a knee-jerk reaction, or you're not making decisions based on your emotions. You are taking a rational approach to decision making. You've done your research. You determine what it is that will actually work. You determine the investment and what it's going to require and whether or not that investment is going to be worth it for you to move forward. You've looked at guidance. You've actually sought out others and counsel, and you've looked in the past to see how you've made decisions and what you've done well at. And you've taken all factors ahead and you've given thought to them. So what is your taking internal action step? Well, taking a look at the decisions that you have to make today and applying this framework to those decisions is going to be the best way for you to make this method of decision making. You want to make this part of your routine. You want to make this part of the way you go about every decision. And so to start with, it's going to be a little clunky. It's going to feel like it's a little forced. It's going to feel as if it's something that is unnatural, and that's fine. But the more that you apply this framework, you're going to make better decisions ahead of time, and eventually it will become second nature to you. So make sure that you are working through these steps for every decision, even if those decisions take longer, because you're going to make better decisions every single time when you go through this process. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video.